Hey, beautiful. Welcome to Dr. Sarah's Cafe. This is your Tuesday tarot reading, which is a general collective reading for anyone who is drawn to watch this video. So I've shuffled the deck a few times. I will do so a couple more times while we're here on camera. And my intention is that if you were drawn to watch, that you find something of value in this message for you. Even though I post these every Tuesday, they are timeless. So whenever you watch, if the message resonates, then it's for you at that time, okay? All right, let's see what messages, insights, wisdom wants to come through for the collective of lovely souls who are watching with us here today. And I'm using the black onyx, or the onyx tarot deck rather. Onyx is black, so that'd be kind of redundant. What messages want to come through this week? This Tuesday tarot message. All right, we have the star. The star has been making an appearance in the weekly refills as well as the Tuesday tarot readings. So what this tells me is that there's a lot of hope and healing on offer for us as a collective, right? The star being the card of hopes, even like wishes coming true. And definitely like healing. So if you've been going through something, you have the Wheel of Fortune at the bottom of the deck, which signifies change, a shift, a pivot, a destiny point, right? Then this is sort of the silver lining, the light at the end of the tunnel that's actually sunshine and not a train. Speaking of trains passing by, right? And so to have this be the first card out, we're starting out the gate like already having reason to hope. And if you're struggling to find reason to hope, this card asks you to look for things to be grateful for. Look for reasons to be grateful. Look for reasons to hope. Look for reasons to hold on to your faith and your belief, right? And if you are engaged in any healing practices, this is also encouragement to continue your healing practices, continue your healing journey because it's working, right? It is investing in your future to continue doing your healing work now. Okay, let's see what else wants to come out. Here's the card of Aquarius, and Pluto's in Aquarius right now, so that is bringing up a lot of that energy as well. So I'll link to that video in the description as well, the Pluto in Aquarius. Okay, oh, we have the Empress. This is really positive cards. Ultimately, like every card can be used for our edification and uplifting, but the Empress card is beauty and abundance, right? If we were to look at just the keywords for what the Empress Tarot card could mean. Beauty, abundance, fertility, and creativity. Oh, this is like creative inspiration for someone. Also, like the care for self. Something is being nurtured. Either you're nurturing yourself, you're nurturing your life, your family, your creative projects. The Empress is also like the incubation period, right? So a lot of times people think the Empress is like birth, but I really see the Empress as like gestating something before it's born. And so it's very like internal process, very fertile, very feminine in that sense, in terms of like being a vessel to hold a seed while it germinates. I think I'm using that word correctly. And I'm looking at the moons here. So the moon cycles could be relevant. The full moon would suggest culmination, completion. And here we have a waxing moon. So we go from the hope of the thing, faith and belief in the thing, to seeing manifestation of the thing, seeing physical form start to take shape to the thing, right? Which really comes with the Emperor, but we see the seedlings and the sprouts, right? Like we can put our hands in the soil when we get to the Empress card, whereas the star is more so like just the vision, the hope for the thing. So for some of you, this will be a creative thing, like you're either like working on yourself or working on a project, or you know, putting together a home, a new business, working on a new relationship, so many things. And so we start with the hope and the vision for the thing, and then we move right into like putting concrete, tangible, like earthly material sustenance and manifestation to the thing. All right, let's keep going. This is exciting. Let me know if this is resonating for you. I'm hoping it's touching someone or speaking to someone. Okay, we have 4 cards that fell out. They fell in 2s. So we have a stack here and a stack here. I'm going to start with this stack. We have the Tower and Justice. So all major arcana. Star and Empress, major arcana. 2 more cards, major arcana. The Tower and Justice. This is a really uncomfortable truth, or a really liberating truth, which it could be both. A liberating truth could be really uncomfortable. But with the Justice card here, this would be a truth that has sort of organized our life. Like our lives have been organized around a particular truth, around a particular decision, around a particular commitment or relationship. And some new awareness, some revelation comes forward with that foundation, like with that foundation that we've been building on. Okay. 2 more major arcana. So like what, less than 30% of the tarot deck is major arcana. We have 6 cards on the table and they're all major arcana. So this is a big reading for someone. This is like a fate and destiny kind of reading where your guardian angels, your spirit guides, your ancestors, God, the creator, the universe, your higher self, your soul is conspiring with you and co-creating with you to usher in something, right? Like you have divine intervention here and you have cosmic karma, right? Like spiritual things that need to happen, right? Like things that the cosmos wants to create. Now, these other 2 cards are the Devil and the Hierophant. The Devil and the Hierophant. And I think this is what's being destroyed by way of a new contract. Okay, so let me slow down to make sure I'm communicating clearly the message that's coming through with all of these cards. So the Devil with the Hierophant is the obligation, the patriarchal church institution, for example, or the very toxic work environment, or the oppressive academic institution that says you only do things one way, you can only do things this one way, and you have to bow down in submission to these external authorities. You have to bend and conform to the way that things have always been, to the established norms and the established creeds, and you're a prisoner, right? To an external philosophy that was force-fed to you. But you take your power back. You recognize and exercise your power of choice, and it ushers in a new paradigm. It ushers in a new paradigm where things can never be the same again. You can never go back. Once you get this taste of freedom, the Tower card has come out before. So go back and watch the past 2, I think, or 3 Tuesday tarot readings where I talk about the Tower being a breakthrough energy, because it breaks you free from this obligation, right? And the Justice card and the Hierophant card are really interesting because they can both be official commitments, official contracts, legal obligations, legal institutions. But the Hierophant with the Devil is giving like old hierarchy, like old oppressive institutions. I'm trying to think of an example that's not offensive to people. Like when an institution is shown to be abusive to its members, and yet people are told that they have to remain loyal to the institution. You have to remain loyal to this creed. You have to remain loyal to this doctrine. You have to remain steadfast, committed to this organization, to this company. Even if you find out that we're underhanded, even if you find out that we're unethical, even if you find out that we've harmed people and that we are not who we say we are. I'm thinking about Malcolm X, okay, with the Nation of Islam. This is sort of that, if you're familiar with that story, okay? And if you're not, watch the movie or read the autobiography, right? This is, we have this really tight-knit brotherhood, this really tight-knit institution that's led by, a less than ethical, values-aligned leadership. But yet you're stuck here. And then this would be Malcolm X saying, I see the truth, sort of truth. I'm weighing out the information I now have to make my own sovereign choice. And realizing that even though I joined this institution, I now recognize that I still have retained my own sovereign choice as to whether I want to go along and be constrained by this, right? Because if you understand the story of Malcolm X, they didn't want him to go and speak. They didn't like the things he was starting to say. He wasn't staying in his place. He broke free. It upended a lot of things he had come to believe, right? He went through a massive tower moment when he saw the truth of the leadership of the organization he had joined. And it took a lot of courage and a lot of a massive upheaval of his own understandings and beliefs and thoughts and philosophies to walk in accordance with the truth that he now had. And for some of you, it's not an actual organization, it's just a belief system, right? So your belief system might not be tied to a religion or a school or a church or a particular family. It could just be beliefs that you've come to have through any means, by any way. Maybe you created them yourself. This might be a practice, a routine, a belief, a philosophy that you created that has been holding you back. Even if it served you at the time that you created it, it's now becoming toxic to your future evolution and advancing your spiritual cause. Okay? So, but regardless of where the dogma is coming from, whether it's externally imposed dogma or dogma that you somehow dug up out of the earth yourself and attached yourself to, it's time to recognize where it is reinforcing fears and negativity and limitations, seeing that truth and making your own sovereign choice to undo this thing, to untie this thing. I was listening to, I'll link to the video. Why is her name escaping me? I know her name, but she is a trance channel, and she channels messages from the angels, from certain angels. And one of the messages that came through was that we need to untidy these beliefs structures, these thought structures, right? That have been keeping our vibration low, that have been limiting our expression of our spiritual truth and our spiritual gifts. And the tower would be the untidying of those things. So to untidy something means to take apart the Lego set sometimes violently so, right? If you think about the Legos or the demolition, when you want to take down an old structure, it doesn't look pretty. Sometimes it looks violent, right? Like lightning and thunder and fire and things crumbling. So I'll also say too that it might not be the most comfortable process that you're going through. But this justice is just a reminder that it is about your own sovereign choice, your own sovereign choice. And for some reason, someone watching this has been deprived of choice, has been convinced that they didn't have a choice, something to that effect. Okay, now before I leave you, I'm going to go back to how we started. I'm glad that, the message came through with the hopeful outcome to start. What's interesting is that right after the tower, we get the star. So you see the tower is number 16, the star is number 17. So you're going to go through this tower. It's going to be uncomfortable. You might be shunned by the old institution. You might be shunned by family and friends for saying, how could you leave this religion? How could you leave this family? Maybe think about like the royals when they like decided to leave the royal family, right? Like all the things. But after all of that dust settles, you're left with the hope. You're left with the healing. You're left with the faith that by having the courage to walk in your true authenticity and vulnerability, you get to experience the beauty, the abundance, and the joys of life. I hope that this has helped you in some way to refill your spiritual cup. And I hope to see you in the next video. Take care.